So I've realized we spent a lot of time lately talking about, you know, other people's cars, you know, the Bronco, the Mach-E, all that fun stuff. So today, we're gonna mix it up, go back to the old roots, talk about our stuff, and our stuff in particular, the 2000 Mustang GT. Now, these Mustangs have kind of been getting a bad rap for a little while because they kind of don't fit in the Mustang world, but they are coming back. They're making an appearance. They're starting to go up slightly go up in value. Mine, you know, not so much. But today we're gonna dive into whether or not it's actually worth spending your money on a 20-year-old Mustang. If you get one in really good shape, you're looking at 10, 15. It depends on if you have a Cobra or not. Cobras, man, you're shooting that price up. So we're gonna go into depth, talk about the ups, the downs, whether or not it's a good investment, the noise. At least after you've built it a little bit, the noise is nice. Now there's a lot of thinking that has to go into this this question. Obviously, it's a very loaded question. So we're gonna go to the only place that I truly know how to think at, Whataburger. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. One of the most important aspects of this from the factory, 2000 Mustang GT, 260 horsepower. Now I know what you're thinking. I know 260 horsepower is not a lot, and I mean, you're right. So we came back to Triple Crown Ford. They have this awesome 2021 EcoBoost for sale. You see right there, 310 horsepower out of a 2.3 liter EcoBoost. And we have a 4.6 liter V8 with 260. Now mine is far from that 260 crank horsepower. We're pushing almost 300 to the wheel. I have a whole slew of things done to it. Brand new motor. I just built the motor. We did cams, a full rebuild all the way around, a whole bunch of other performance goodies. There's a whole bunch of videos. I'll link them down in the description. Now, as far as looks, I mean, in my opinion, it is super hard to compete with the S550 platform. One of my favorite Mustang platforms of all time. Absolutely love it. The New Edge, I do like it. Hence the reason that I bought one. I love the New Edge. I think it looks so slick, especially when it's lowered. Factory form kind of looks like a 4x4, but when you put some lowering springs on there, or even better, some coilovers, it is really nice. So there's no getting around the fact that mine, it's not the cleanest New Edge Mustang out there. There is no mistaking that. The big reason is it was a $1,000 car. I only paid $1,000. Came with a running and driving car and an extra motor and transmission. That's a big reason why you should buy them. They're dirt cheap. On the contrary, if you want to get a 2021 S550 Mustang, that one over there, $37,000. So as you'd expect, the older one is obviously much cheaper. You can get a pretty clean example for around $5,000, which is really nice. It makes a really good noise. Maybe a little down on power, but still very nice. So the 4.6 liter 2-valve, the motor that the GTs come with, you probably recognize the motor. It is exactly the same, pretty much, with a few minor differences, as the Ford Crown Vic Police Interceptor. That's right, this motor is straight out of a cop car, all the V8 American glory, which means parts super easy to find, super cheap. Now, when you start to modify it like mine, you start to run into some more pricey options. This motor cost a lot. While the car was only $1,000, the motor, I'm like $4,000 into it. If you want to see the details, what it costs to build a full bolt-on Mustang, go click that video right up there. Yeah, it's expensive. So I did all that work, poured all that money into it, and we're sitting at a cool like 290 wheel horsepower. Now we're still on factory gearing. This has 323 gearing factory. Super long, super not cool. We have 373s to put in it. It's gonna really transform the car, make it a lot faster. Now it's already not slow. 0 to 60s in like the high 5-second range. Haven't taken it drag racing yet, but soon. So why did we take it here to Triple Crown Ford to compare it to a 2021? It's not even the same car. It's not even the same realm. That is the point. This is a completely different animal than a 2021. The 2000 Mustang, that era, not a very refined car. Cheap materials. It's pretty cheaply built. There's stuff cracks, stuff breaks on the inside. It's getting to be, I hate to say it, an older car. The only thing these two really share is it's the pony badge. Other than that, the new Mustang, completely refined 10-speed automatic transmission, whereas over here we're still rocking the 5-speed manual, which I do love. There is a few things that are different in my car than you would get in, say, a stock 2000s era Mustang. You know, the seats are different. Some minor interior things are different. But before we get to that, we're going to take it on the road so we can experience the 4.6 liter V8, which is honestly one of my favorite sounding V8s ever. So it kind of goes hand in hand with the video on stuff that kind of breaks because it's older. This does have a bad purge valve, so the starts are a little longer, but still very satisfying. Now, as I mentioned, this does have a cam and a stage 2 comp cam, the XE268. So your normal Mustang GT will not sound just like this. It'll still be similar, a lot smoother, won't have a little bit of a chop. This doesn't have a severe chop, just enough to where you know it's cam. Fuel economy, real quick, while we're filling up for gas. If it's important to you, after I've built this, I'm getting about 20 miles to the gallon. Way better than I thought it would, way better than my truck, both of them. So I really can't complain. I didn't build this for fuel economy though. I really couldn't care if it got like 9, but we are getting 20 miles to the gallon. We do have to run 93 just because of the tune, which is kind of expensive, but race car, so you know. So you know how I talked about build quality not being great in these? Just cover your ears because it's pretty bad. Listen. Oh my, oh, it's painful every time. So I apologize for the wind noise. I'd roll the windows up, but back on the topic of build quality, something just broke. I can't. So on the road, it's surprisingly comfortable. This does have BBK lowering springs, still on factory suspension, with 196,000 miles. So it's not great, but honestly, on the highway, this thing cruises, man. It's really, really good. The only downside is the drone, because this is long tubes, off-road X-pipe, full straight pipes out the back, so there's nothing. It's just motor, and it's really, really loud. So yeah, it's loud and annoying on a road trip, but when you're not on a road trip and you're just driving, it is not annoying. It never ceases to bring a smile on my face every single time. Just gotta let the boost build. I'm kidding, there's no boost. No boost here. Come on. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love this motor. I love it. To really dive into the car, I came to the beautiful little town of Dublin, Texas. Mainly it's for that. That is 423,218 fluid ounces. But also it's a lovely little town. So where do we even begin? There's a whole lot to talk about when it comes to the new age Mustang. Obviously I'm a little biased. I'm gonna try to put that aside and give y'all the best perspective on whether or not you should buy one from like a non-owner's perspective. So the interiors, the best way I know how to put it, it is very, very early 2000s car interior. Everything is plastic everywhere, and it does crack, such as plastic does. The dashboards are notorious for cracking. Thankfully mine hasn't. Now the door sills, there's little pieces in the door sills, they crack. Mine are starting to, really annoying, so carbon fiber, here we come. So handling. Now how does the 20-year-old Mustang handle? It handles exactly like you'd expect a 20-year-old muscle car to handle. Not, especially by today's standards, not very well. There is a couple things you can do to fix that. There is mods for every part of this car. There's a whole bunch of underbody support that stiffens things, control arms, coilover suspension, independent rear suspension. So this comes factory with a solid axle. I know, not so fun, but you can get a Cobra independent rear suspension to put in the car, which will make it a lot better, kind of help you from doing the stereotypical, you know, Mustang thing and hitting people, because we don't want to do that. The only problem is they're slightly expensive and you got to find one. Now there are many more options than just your regular old Mustang GT. If you want to get the V6, the standard base Mustang, you're looking at 190 horsepower. I know, it blows your socks off. Now if you want to take the step up from the GT, you're looking at 320 horsepower from the Cobra. And then if you want to take the step up from that, you're looking at 390 horsepower from the Terminator Cobra, which has a supercharged 4-valve 4.6 liter. So that's the pinnacle. You also have a few in between, like you have the Bullet the Mach 1. Those are more limited edition stuff. My seats are from a Mach 1. They're very nice. But if you want to look like base stuff, GT, 260 horsepower. Interior, yes, it's pretty small. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3", 6'4", 230 pounds. It can kind of get a little tight in the interior. Needless to say, it's still comfortable. I've still taken this on 3-4 hour road trips with only minor discomfort, but overall it's okay. Now we're still left with the question with, should you buy a 20-year-old Mustang? Because it's complicated, you know? There's a lot of variables that go into this. It depends on what you're going for and what kind of car you're trying to buy. If you're trying to buy a project car, your first project car, this is one of the best ones out there. They're so cheap. Parts are cheap. They are incredibly easy to build. So if you're looking for your first project car, like I was, this is one of the best options there is. Now, if you're looking for, you know, a comfortable, daily drivable car, this might be the wrong choice. It is not the most comfortable car in the world, especially when you make it loud and obnoxious like I did. It kind of loses some points there. So, project car, yes, top of the list. So these are extraordinarily reliable. The 4.6 liter, it's why it was in the cop car. Super easy to work on. So if something breaks, you can fix it. Most of the time, you can fix it for cheap. And as long as you're not throwing crazy aftermarket mods at it like I did, it's not going to be a problem finding parts and getting them soon and cheap. So we've pretty much covered the bases on the new Edge Mustang, the 99 to 04. We've gone over the ins and the outs, what's good about it, what's not. So here is kind of what I'm left with after buying one and owning one. If you're looking for a project car, this is an incredible investment. I said investment. One of the big reasons I got this was for you guys, YouTube. So we had more than just truck content, we have car content. So as a project, this is amazing. It's been so much fun to work on, so easy to work on, and since it's good old American iron, somebody knows something about it everywhere. Now I'm gonna get a little bit biased with you guys and talk about my personal experience owning one of these. I am in love with this car. I love it so much. The 2-valve motor is spectacular. It sounds so good. It has such a soul. It's such an interesting car, I guess we'll say that. I learn something new about it every day. It keeps me on my toes, which is great. So all in all, I'm probably like 5,000 or so into it. If you want to see the whole cost build down, obviously there's a video down linked in the description for the whole cost breakdown of the Mustang. But I've put a pretty penny into it. Since I've built the motor, it has been, knock on wood, extraordinarily reliable. I haven't had any issues. Tuning it was a breeze. Obviously, I didn't do it myself. I'm not that good. But overall, it's been an amazing experience and a super fun ride. Obviously, we're far from done. She looks a little rough. The car is going to be completely transformed, wide-bodied, painted, all in good time though, because college is expensive. I really hope you guys learned something today and are inspired to buy a new Edge Mustang if it is the car for you. These are slowly dying. People are kind of letting them go to waste, and that is really unfortunate, because one day it'll be a classic. We got a while for that, but one day. So let's save these things before it's too late. Let's make a project out of it. Let's build it the way you want it to be built. Then you can have a car that's yours, you put your hard-earned money into, and it's a great car to drive. Now, I'm sure I missed some very important details, so be sure to go down in the comments and let us know why you think you should or should not buy one of these Mustangs. If you have any questions, shoot it down below. I might be able to answer it, and if I can't, somebody smarter will for me. If you're new here, my name's Ethan. Thank you so much for stopping by Covert Garage. I really hope I earned your subscription. There's a whole lot of Mustang content coming soon, so if you want to see that, make sure you stay up to date. Also, today is December 21st. It's a sunny 70 degrees. I don't know how that is possible, but Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. I hope you have a wonderful time. Hopefully you're with family this year and you get to have some good quality time with them. Now I probably won't be back until after the new year, because, you know, family stuff. So I will catch y'all then. Until that though, have a good one. Always remember to keep it classy, and I will catch y'all very soon.